Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Beauty Bears All, where beauty meets reality. I'm your host, Emily Stylez. Today, we're talking about something that no skincare routine, no filters, no hairstyle, no makeup product, and no cosmetic procedure can truly fix. We're talking about healing the woman behind the mirror when beauty can't fix what's broken within. The woman behind the mirror is is deep, right? I like to use that word a lot. Like it's deep. As someone who's been behind the chair for almost 20 years, I've learned something. Women don't usually come in the salon asking for hair. They're looking for hope. Sometimes they want confidence. Sometimes they want a fresh start after a divorce, someone that they might have lost. Sometimes they're battling illness. Sometimes they want to just feel beautiful again because life has convinced them that they aren't beautiful. So today we're going to talk about healing from inside out. What beauty professionals really witness, we become therapists without licenses. We hear stories of abuse, infidelity, cancer, loss, financial struggles, depression, dreams. The beauty industry isn't just about appearance, it's about human connection. And sometimes a haircut becomes the first step towards rebuilding someone's life. You know, some of my clients have come from really hard lives, and sometimes they'll walk in broken, dealing with some heavy things. Either they lost their spouse suddenly and tragically, and they have been dealing with so much grief that they have lost who they are, their identity, being mom and running here and there and getting everything going for the family to keep everybody going. And those are the type of people that I love a transformation for because you can really see them light up. They come in so defeated. They come in with the stories of the things that they've experienced, the heavy burdens of it all, and they come out feeling a little bit more, I don't know, optimistic about life. And not only that, when clients sit in my chair specifically, I try to breathe life into them if I can. A lot of times we just vent, they share their stories, and I'll just listen. And at times they'll ask me for advice, or they'll ask, do you know anybody that can help me with this situation or that situation? And, just being there for clients is something that is so important to me. And I also remember having a patient that had just been diagnosed, a client that had just been diagnosed with breast cancer. And obviously, devastating, devastating news to hear. A young woman, a young mom, young children, and she started losing her hair. And I remember thinking, where can we get hair for her? Like, because there's so many different companies that provide wigs. Health insurance will cover different wigs and things like that. And I remember thinking, like, the provider that's not far from where I work, they have wigs there and they work one-on-one with cancer patients. So I connected her with the gentleman and she went over there and they fitted her in a private room. And then she said, I got a wig. I'm so excited. I'm so happy. Can I come by so you can help me shape it? And I was honored. I was like, absolutely. And just shaping it, giving it a new fresh cut, making it look like what I had normally done for her hairstyle and everything. You could just see the transformation. There was hope there and happy story, a happy report, a praise report. She's cancer free now and all her hair is back. But these are the types of stories that I'm talking about where people are going through so much and you really don't know unless they open up. And some clients don't open up. They just sit in my chair, but you can feel that they're dealing with heavy things and you just try to be there for them if you can, you know? But why external beauty stops working? We are obsessed in this society with the exterior, right? How we look, how we feel, that we forget like today I don't have makeup on. My hair, I styled it what I think yesterday or the day before and I got rained on. I do have my lashes, but I wanted to be me. I wanted to be myself in front of you all without a filter, without all the mask, so to speak. Right? Because society tells us that it's not okay to be ourselves, that we have to perform, we have to look a certain way, we have to be a certain way, dress a certain way. It has to be name brands or it has to be where, we're wearing form-fitting things so we could feel good about ourselves. Guilty, right? Me too. um, Validation through likes on social media, comparing ourselves to other people. I hear so many stories of people comparing themselves to women online and like, well, why don't I look like this person or that person? Well, a lot of them are using filters, a lot of them are airbrushed or they've gotten, procedures done. And even women that get procedures look at other procedures and they're like, but I still don't look great. And that's also part of body dysmorphia, where we're seeking to do things to our physical body, for our physical appearance. And even that doesn't help in a lot of people because we're really hurting and dealing with stuff deep within that's deep rooted. So it doesn't matter what you do on the physical if you're not dealing with what you're going through and processing within. It doesn't matter what you do, right? We're weight obsessed, Everybody wants to be the skinniest thing ever or skinny with a big butt, big boobs, sometimes uneven proportions. And a lot of this is not realistic. And I'm not shaming it. I'm not knocking it because I'm a proponent of keeping up with ourselves, doing things that make us feel um, more attractive or feel good about ourselves. But when you get something done and you still feel that you need improvement, that is a problem, right? Because a little here, a little there, no big deal. And I'm not judging anybody who's going through any of these things, but what I'm saying is get yourself someone that you can work with and work through these things because a lot of these things that we deal with as adults are deep-rooted childhood wounds. Maybe they picked on us because we were overweight as kids, or we didn't fill out, or we didn't look the way we wanted to look until we graduated high school, or whatever it is. Like everybody has their own story, or we grew up with boys, and so now we were more tomboy, and that's fine. Like, or we don't have that feminine touch because we were never taught. Maybe mom wasn't around or mom didn't teach you or no one in the house taught you, and that's okay. But it's important to learn to love yourself where you are, as you are, you know. Um, have you ever noticed that the more some people change themselves, the less happy they become? These are my notes that I had here. So I'm sharing them with you. Beauty isn't the problem. Looking for identity in beauty is. There's a lot of lies that us women tell ourselves. I'm too old. I'm too overweight. I'm not enough. I'm not pretty without makeup. No one will love me. I've missed my chance. The I'm too old. I hear this so much from so many of us. Myself, I'd be like, oh, I'm so old, whatever. I'm so tired. But we're not. Beauty is not an age. You can be 100 years old and be beautiful. Beauty is from within. It's from your heart. It's from your soul. It's from your inner light. There are plus size models, right? Like some women, oh, I'm too overweight. Like if it's a health issue and you want to get healthy, I get that. And I'm with you because I'm a proponent of being healthy, but don't get lost and distracted by having to get to a certain size. As a matter of fact, I have a few clients that amazing women, and they tell me, I got surgery to lose weight, or I'm using a shot to help me with my weight loss journey, but I'm not looking at the scale. I'm looking at how I feel. If I feel better in my clothing and my skin, I can move better, I can walk more, I can do. That's what healthy looks like. Not having to depend on so much medication and hopefully little by little needing less and less to maybe at some point you don't need medication at all. That is healthy. That is great. Another thing is we say we're not enough. And that also stems from deep-rooted wounds where maybe we were overlooked and we didn't get the validation or the sense of security in who we were as children because someone maybe just said, you're not enough, or you're too this, or you're too that. And we have to get those voices out of our head. We cannot allow the things that stained us, if you will, to continue walking with us throughout our adult lives. We have to remove that stain, so to speak. Really like get yourself a stain remover, by working through it, healing, acknowledging it, having awareness of it, and moving through it. There's so many women that I know when I was growing up in school, in middle school, there was a young woman in particular that would not leave the house without makeup. And one day we had gone on a school trip in a group, and she took her makeup off because she's in the chlorine. We're swimming, we're all having a great time. And people were like, oh my gosh, who is that? And we were like, oh, that's so and so. And they were like, I have not seen her without her makeup. I think she was wearing makeup for 2 years, and we're all just like, holy crap, that's not what she looks like on the regular. And she's a beautiful girl. But because we were not used to her without makeup, and makeup today is so drastic in comparison to makeup then, you have so many layers of makeup just to go to work on a regular day. And like people are beating the hell out of their face. And I feel like, there's a lot of deceiving ourselves, right? Because we go online and we use these filters and they make us look great. And then we expect that to be our reality. Our everyday face needs to look like that. And we just need to be okay with who we are and be barefaced. Let your roots grow in a little bit. Don't always brush out your hair. Wear your hair in a bun and whatever. Be yourself. Um, and we talk about how we don't feel loved. And, another note that I put here was no one loves me. I know that's a big one for people today. Men and women and everybody in between can relate to everything I'm talking about. Um, but I know most of my listeners are of the feminine type. Uh, but staying focused, you know, we think no one will love us if we look a certain way, if we are a certain way. And let me tell you, I have seen some really unique looking couples. I'm sure some of you have seen this as well. I've witnessed this where you'll have a woman that's 6'6" and her husband is like 5'8". You know, you see people that are dwarfs, little people, and they're with someone full height or even 6 foot, 7 foot. Like you see odd couples, you see somebody with piercings and tattoos throughout their body, cut up tongue that looks like, snake tongue, and they have this beautiful librarian looking partner. Like there's someone for everyone out there. And if you just have confidence in who you are, your inner beauty, your inner light will shine through. Your personality will shine through. If you're a sweet person, your person is out there, right? You may not have met them yet, and you may not have feel good enough for that person, but just know from me, you are enough. You are worthy of love and deserving of love. You just have to give yourself that love first. Know that you're good enough and allow yourself to love yourself. Take care of yourself by going to sleep early, not tolerating negative behavior from people, bosses, family, friends. There's a lot of things we can do to help ourselves, right? And the makeup doesn't have to overpower our everyday look and everything like that? Basically, like, don't think that you need to have this perfect image to be loved, to be seen, to be of value, to be seen as beautiful or handsome or attractive. Just be who you are naturally, and that will shine through. The woman in the mirror will be reflected back, and hopefully, you'll love the person that you see in that mirror. Now, let's talk about the difference between self-love and self-improvement. This is where your balanced perspective really shines. Like I mentioned before, I color my hair. I've said this in other episodes. I love skincare. I enjoy wearing makeup. I believe in cosmetic treatments when they're done safely. But there's a huge difference between enhancing yourself and trying to become someone else, right? You don't have to strive to be the next America's Next Top Model. And I know that show, oh, excuse me, that show is older. And some of you are probably young and have no idea what the heck I'm talking about. But, you know, people want to be something that they're not, and it's okay to be you because you're enough. So let's talk about 5 ways to start healing. 1, stop comparing yourself online. I was saying that before. 2, speak to yourself like someone you love. 3, take care of your body because you appreciate it, not because you hate it. 4, find people who see your soul, not just your appearance. Number 5, build a relationship with God that reminds you your value was never based on your reflection. And those of you that are offended by that, go with whatever works for you. But for me, it's the Creator. So tonight, when you're done, you're removing your makeup, I want you to do something. Stand in front of the mirror as yourself without fixing your hair. Remove all that makeup without criticizing yourself. Look into your eyes and ask yourself, who am I becoming? Not how do I look, because there's a huge difference. Who am I becoming. So I have a beauty tip of the week for you. Your skin reflects stress more than age. So sleep, get a lot of sleep, hydrate yourself, stay hydrated, water, electrolytes. Keep up with good nutrition if you can. I know it's expensive. Food isn't super cheap, but if you can, whenever possible, eat healthy. Manage your stress. That is so important because stress will take a toll on you. Be kind to yourself. When you look at yourself in the mirror, find one thing each day, one thing that you love about yourself. Not about your outfit, not about this, like just, or you know what? Just keep it simple. Whatever it is that you feel good about that day, that when you look at yourself in the mirror, oh, I like my hair today. Oh, I like my eyeliner today. I like the way my lipstick looks, or my eyes look really pretty here today. You know, whatever that is for you. And those things that I just shared are still the best beauty products you'll ever invest in you, in yourself, in your healing, in your journey. Resting is so important. Are all my notes. I'm sorry, everybody. Today's a little wonky for me. So I'd love to hear from you guys. If you can comment below, share, email, reach out. When did you finally realize that confidence doesn't come from your appearance? All right. Make sure once again to leave a comment, send the message, share your story, become someone else. I'm sorry, because someone else may need to hear it. So share your story. Don't be afraid. Share with the community. In closing, I'd like to thank you all for spending your time with me. And remember that beauty fades, trends change, hair grows back, but your character, your kindness, your resilience, those things become more beautiful with time. This has been Beauty Bears All with your host, Emily Stylez, where beauty meets reality. Until next time, keep growing, keep healing, and never forget that the most beautiful thing you'll ever wear is the piece you fought so hard to find. Have a great day or evening.